And we're live, so thank you for joining me on your holiday weekend. Welcome to my home. I like to call it my happy place right here in the kitchen. So today I am thrilled to show you how easy it is to make halva. It's one of those things that I learned over pandemic, just like bagels, and realized how easy it is to make. And I wanted to make sure that you knew how easy it was to make so you could enjoy it at home as well. So we're going to get right to it. Obviously, I am not an actress and I am not an entertainer, so it's just me cooking in my kitchen. I hope you come along with me and enjoy it. And I would love to see if we could find it here on the screen to make sure that I'm live. So if you are here on the page and you're here and you can send a like or a message or comment. I'll try to get to comments while I'm in the cook mode. Don't know if that's going to work because I'm not so good at this. This is my first time, obviously, and we'll see what we can do. So, what do you need to make halva? Just very, very few ingredients. You can change it up to use what you like. Tonight we're going to make marble halva that's going to be chocolate covered, and I'm going to throw some nuts on my side. Hubby doesn't like the nuts, so my side will have some nuts as well. And yeah, chocolate and just plain halva mixed with a little salt, vanilla, and sugar syrup, and you will see the magic. So we'll get started. So come on over here, let's see what we have. I would love to know if I'm live.
You are live. We're getting plenty of comments.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So thanks. And thanks to my son for being my cameraman, because without him, there's no way I could do it. So I have spread out here all my stuff that I'm going to need. Some plastic wrap and parchment paper. The parchment paper, you want to put in either a baking sheet or, well, you could use whatever shape you like, if you like round or whatever you want. But you want to use the parchment paper so that there's an overhang, so that when, excuse me, so when it's all finished and chilled, you'll be able to pull it out without a problem. But for right now, we're just going to put that off to the side because we don't need it just yet. We have, because we're making the marble, I like dark chocolate, so I use Ghirardelli 72%. Hubby doesn't like it so dark, so I add in some semi-sweet chocolate chips, give it a little bit more sweetness. And again, you can use whatever chocolate you like. You can use any combination you like. It's really obviously up to you. The recipe is only a guide. And speaking of the recipe, it does come from epicurious.com. I switched mine to make it marble, but it is listed in the files under epicurious.com, halva 5 ways. So that's being said, I will give you the list of ingredients as well. I use Hadar by Barak tahini. This is the 15.9 ounce container, and I use the whole thing. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups, which is 12 ounces, but if I take a couple tablespoons out to make hummus, or if I use the whole container, it seems to work out fine. So 1 container of tahini. You're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I use the pure vanilla extract. 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. 1.25 cups of sugar, pure cane, granulated, regular sugar. You're going to use a 1/4 cup water. And I have some chopped walnuts and some half walnut shelled to put on the top. Again, if you want to put it in the halva, if you want to make pistachio or almond, whatever flavors you want, you can use whatever you like. So we're going to get started with the chocolate first. And basically, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can melt your chocolate, but I like to just put it in the Pyrex and microwave it. You can use the double boiler method, or, you know, again, whatever method you prefer. But all I'm going to do is take it out and break it up. Of course, the smaller you break it, the faster it's going to finish and cook. But I just snap that and put it into my container. You can do it on a chopping board and shave it down with a sharp knife if you want. You can grate it, like I said, whatever way, I don't care. However you do it, it's chocolate. It's all good. All right, so that part is done. And then for the hubby, here's my compromise. We throw in some sweet, semi-sweet chocolate chips. And this way, it's not quite as dark. It's still rich. It's still chocolatey. It'll still be delicious. And we move to the microwave because it's for the next step. So what we're going to do is, it's going to take about 3 minutes. So sorry, it's a little long. But I'm going to put it on for a minute the first time. And then I'm going to switch it down to 30-second intervals. But the most important thing is putting it at 50% power. So make sure it's at 50% because you want to make sure that you don't scorch or burn the chocolate, and that it'll be nice and smooth and ready to pour both on top and on into the halva. So we still can't find it live, huh?
Nope.
All right. Let me just take a look and see if we can bring this up because I want to make sure that I'm not sideways or anything. And again, if anybody could throw a like or share, not a share, well, you could share it too, but if you do a comment so that I can find it, that would be awesome. We just want to make sure we're not talking to ourselves.
You want it on the phone?
Let's see. Okay, we're getting a comment. Here we go. Thank you. Millie, thank you. Okay, so yeah, we are live. Okay, so that's good. All right, so anyway, we are at the 1 minute mark, first 1 minute, and you can see nothing really has happened here. I'm gonna stir, but nothing really, it's starting to melt, just starting to melt. So give it a little stir, and back in it goes. And again, we're going to do it for 30 seconds at 50% power. And let's see where we go. Meanwhile, let's see what I get.
Comments are coming in.
We're getting comments. So
yeah.
Hi everybody. I'm looking here. Maybe what was this? What did I put in the microwave just now? That's the chocolate. That's the broken up chocolate that I'm just melting it down, and I'm going to put it on side for a little later. Thank you, Mark. You're wonderful too, no matter what they say. So yeah, I do see the comments, but I gotta watch my chocolate. So here, a little bit softer. And again, this is going to take 3 minutes, so don't get like, nothing's happening. It is melting little by little. And you're going to see how much smoother that's going to get by the time we're done. Oops, get in there, buddy. Okay, back in we go. Another 30 at 50%. And I know Mark asked me too earlier today, how did I start making halva, or where did it come from? And it certainly wasn't anything I grew up eating other than the Joya bars like everybody else. You know, you buy it at the store, Dad loved it, you always had it in the house. Sometimes you would get it as slice at the deli. Delicious, absolutely delicious. Could be a little grainy, could be a little sandy. When you taste this, this is not commercial stuff. It will change your mind about halva if you don't really care for it. You will start a newfound love because this stuff rocks. I think we're probably going to be good at one more 30-second shot. So bear with me, guys. One more round. And I really want to lick the spoon, but I won't do that. Anyway, so how did I come about to make this? So lately, And most of you guys on We Love Jewish Food know we've been talking a lot about Ashkenazi versus Sephardic foods. And I thought, let me try making hummus, let me try making some different things. So I saw the tahini on the shelf at the store. I think it was on sale, so I had to buy it. And I thought, all right, time to make hummus. And realized all you needed was 2 tablespoons. Okay, so look at the chocolate is getting smooth and shiny. I see maybe a couple lumps. I'm gonna let it go. Maybe one more. So I buy the tahini, make the hummus, and when I read the directions, it says 2 tablespoons of tahini. This is 15.9 ounce container I have, so I thought now's the time to learn how to make halvah. So that's what I did, and then I started to do research, looking on the internet, and you cannot find many videos on how to do it. You see them making the big giant vats of halvah in Israel that are like not for home consumption. I watched Jamie Geller beat it with a mixer to make it look grainy. It looked awful. I saw people who didn't know what temperature to use, and it was more trial and error. So I thought, it's time to show you guys how to do this right. And I'm gonna have my dude look in. You got nice creamy chocolate, and it's got a nice shine to it. Put it under the light, you can see a little bit better. And all the lumps and bumps are out, and you have nice smooth chocolate. So with that said, I'm gonna put this aside, and we're gonna get into the actual base for the halvah. It's kind of a 2-step process, and you start by taking room temperature halvah and getting it out of the container. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part of this entire recipe. I found that some of these containers get very hard and kind of clumpy, gumpy on the bottom, and you really have to get in there and get every last drop, because it can be, the oil that separates on the top a little bit, and you get a very different texture when you get down to the bottom. So at this point, you can mix and stir this so that it's a consistent texture throughout. I actually did a little pre-work and tried to mix it before you guys showed up, because sometimes you have to get in there with a spoon and really dig. It gets really, really clumpy. So this is in pretty good shape, but you can see it's a lot thicker coming out now from the bottom than what was in the top. It was very loose. So anyway, mix that all up good. And to this, it's so few ingredients. This is so easy. Don't let anyone know how easy it is, because they're gonna think this took you like all day and like you're a master chef, and they're not gonna believe how good it is. So don't let them know. This is the hard part, stirring. This is how you make halvah. It's stirring. So right now, it's nice and smooth. The clumps are out. I don't know if you can see. We're gonna put in a 1/4 teaspoon. Let's get a 1/4 even of kosher salt. Sprinkle that on. And a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Pure vanilla extract. Use the good stuff, people. Don't be cheaps. The good stuff will taste good. All right, a little extra. That's okay. So that's in. And stir it up. So again, right now, I don't care how much you stir, because that's what's going to make the smooth consistency for you. Once you get the syrup mixture made, that's a whole different story. At that point, you only get 60 seconds or less of stirring time. You don't want to go over that because then everything changes. Your consistency changes, and you want the nice creamy smooth, not sandy gritty, and it's all about the stirring. So that is your base. So that part is done for now. And then we come back to it. That's when the magic's gonna happen. The next part is the longest part. So again, it's only stirring. So come on over here, I'm gonna show you. 2 things go into the pot. You have a cup and a quarter of sugar. That's your granulated sugar. And a quarter cup of just plain water. And that goes on medium-high. And it's halva, remember? You stir. If I tell you, that's it for this recipe. That's all you do. You stir. You don't cut, you don't dice, you don't slice. You stir. So this water and sugar start to marry. And what starts out kind of like a paste here is going to get clear and heat up. It'll start to bubble. And like I said, this part takes about 10 minutes. So if anybody has questions that we can help answer, now would be the time. We're going to keep an eye. You keep stirring it. That's the other thing. Don't stop stirring. And you'll find it'll start to bubble on the edge. And little granules will come up on the side of the pan. You want to take a brush with water if you want and kind of wash the side of the pan with the brush so it goes back into the mixture so you don't get any of those granules into the halva. I don't do that part. I just, when I pour, I make sure I don't scrape the sides so that I don't get the granules in there, because you don't want that. And speaking of saying halva, I say halava. I know it's spelled halva, but I don't know why we always called it halava. I guess it's a Philly thing. Is it like the Acme? You know, an Acme? I don't know. My son probably doesn't know. He knows the Acme. You go to Acme. But in Philly, we would say the Acme. So maybe that's why we call it halava instead of halva. We like to add that extra in there. Anyway, we're cooking here. And like I said, this is probably going to take 10 minutes. How do I know when it's done? That's the secret of halva. This syrup mixture needs to get to 250 degrees. And that's why we have the candy thermometer. This is like so important in making halva. I actually bought it to make halva. I didn't have a candy thermometer. I'd never made candy before. So we're looking for this mixture to go to 250 degrees, which is just over, what is it called? Soft crack stage. The pot is so small. It has a little clip to stand into a pot, but at this point, I would have to hold it the whole time. And I know at this point by eyesight, kind of when it gets up to that boiling stage, and you can see it now. I don't know if I can peek into that pot. You see right now, it's getting warm, but it's not hot. It's not bubbly, and these little grains. That's what I'm talking about. You can, at this point, you can keep stirring, keep stirring. You're going to keep stirring almost till it's at temp. Once it starts to get close to temp, then you can lay off on the stirring a little bit. I think it probably cools it down. Yes, it's just starting to boil. We're not there yet. We're not even close. So we're going to just keep stirring and talking. What else did we want to talk about? I wanted to make sure to thank Harris and We Love Jewish Food people, because without you as my We Love Jewish family, I'm thrilled that you're all a part of this and that we're all in this together, learning and doing all these wonderful things. I want to thank my son, my cameraman, because without him there is no way would I be able to do this. I might be able to snap a picture here and there, but to actually film something, you need, or I need, extra hands. So thank you to him as well. And I don't know, do you want to, it's starting to boil around the edge, but I don't know if you want to see any comments, if you want to read any out to me. No, I got to do it? Yeah. All right, well, you know what, I don't want to take my eyes off. So you guys, if I'm too boring, I'm sorry, but the magic is happening in the pot. It's not about me. It's not about anything right now but these bubbles. Do you see what's happening here? We're so close to being done. So hang in there with me, because once this comes to 250 degrees and goes into that bowl, we're done in less than a minute. So we're getting there. You see those bubbles starting to form? And I'm not gonna scrape those back in. I'm just gonna let them be. And let me think, what else do I want to tell you guys? Need the candy thermometer, I told you that. And yeah, not a whole lot of, there are a lot of recipes for the halvah, but really not a lot of videos for you to see what to do. So I hope this is helping you out. And again, just because I'm making the marble today, in the recipe that's with the Epicurious one that I posted, it has 5 different ways. They use cardamom, they use lemon, they use, you know, all different flavorings, and you should do the same thing. Use what you like. I actually have some orange liqueur here, and I was thinking, or it's non-alcoholic, but an orange flavored liqueur. And I was thinking with orange rind, that would be delicious. I'm sure if you had lemon rind, you know, use your imagination and tell me what different flavors you think you might want to come up with. So as you see, this is boiling or starting to boil. I don't think we're quite there yet because this boiling kind of changes one more time. So let's stick our thermometer and see where we are. And I'm waiting for 250. I'm going to just kind of keep it moving. And I think I'll even put on my glasses for this to make sure we're okay. And it's coming up. We're almost at 220. And guys, this is hot. This is not one you want to pick up the spoon and give a taste. This is, you don't want to do that. You will burn your lips off. So please, please be very careful. See, and again, if you have your heat on higher than medium high, I don't want it boiling over on you. Again, it would not only cause a huge mess, it can be very dangerous, so please be careful. And we're coming up to 230. 240 is soft, what is it, softball stage. It's almost there. And then we'll have just about another 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, what am I saying, 10 degrees to go. And then like I said, once it hits the tahini mixture, we're almost done. This is where the magic happens. All right, we are at softball stage, which is 240. And the last 10 degrees, I'm not gonna stir it quite as much. It's not sticking, and the heat is going at a nice pace, so I'm gonna kind of just watch it. And then like all of a sudden, I don't know if you can see the thermometer there. It's like right there to that little line, softball. And it's at about 250, 245, 5 more degrees. Now when we get to the tahini stage here, the trick is pour gradually, stir fast. So we want to get it in, and again, we don't want to go over that 1 minute of stirring because we are done, or we will be done. So see how now it's like boiling, like a little bit different. It's not quite as bubbly, it's more boily, if that's a word. And we're right under the 250. We're almost there. Give it another second, and there it is, 250. Can you see it? Okay, good. So what we're going to do now is turn this off. Give it another stir. Put it down. We're going to put a minute timer. Let's turn this guy off. And we come back over to our tahini that's been sitting. Now watch. Watch for the magic, people. Count down from 60. You can start counting. You know what? I'm going to take this one out. I use a lot of wooden spoons for this. Pour slow, stir fast. So we're at about 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You're saying nothing's happening. 24, 25. Hold on, let's put this over here. 26, 27, 28, 29. That's faster than me, my counting. 30. You see what's happening? 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. It's going to start pulling away from the sides. 45, 46, 47. See the texture? 50. See when it's away from the sides? We now have Halvah. Isn't that magical? Come on, I'm like so excited. This is like the coolest thing ever. So, see how it's like all come together? It's like such a different texture. And we want to make this marble. So, back to our friend the chocolate. We're just going to pour it in. And we're going to stir, not too much, because you don't want it to be chocolate halva. You want this to be marble. So, give it a couple stirs, kind of like folding it in. The more you fold it, the thinner your line is going to be. If you like a nice thick line, like that's all you want to do, just like that. One of those things too much is not good. You want just right. So, I'm going to take this, pour it into the pan. How's it looking, people? It's really getting thick fast. Pour it in. Clean up as much as I can. The rest will be for tasting. That's okay too. Pour that. I kind of give it a little jiggle and a shake to flatten it out. And I want to make a little chocolate covered. So, for the chocolate. And that'll flatten it. Let's pour what's left of this chocolate right over the top. And same thing, I might make this one. Well, if I want a thicker coat, maybe I'll make just half chocolate covered and half plain. Or if I want a thinner coat, I can just spread it out. Was that magical? I don't know about you, but it was magical to me. And we just take our spoon, spread it. And then, since hubby doesn't like nuts and I do, I kind of designate which part of the halva is going to be mine by taking, I think use some of these big ones. You can use the smaller ground chopped walnuts, the big walnuts, pistachios, whatever you like. And here we go. Yum. Okay, that's more than enough for me, yeah? And next is, after you lick your finger, next is you let it sit and cool, and then you're going to put it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours before you slice it. You want it nice and chilled. Once it's chilled, then you can slice it. You want to wrap it, tightly wrap it in plastic wrap, and that'll last 3 weeks in your fridge if you want to do it like that. And through the magic of TV, here you guys can look at that while I get one we made just a little while ago. It's just about chilled. This is the finished one that we did at about 5:30. So that one is ready to come out. We'll let this guy chill. And again, see, I put a little rubber band to hold the papers down, but I'm going to taste, because, you know, cooking show. This is where you use your parchment, comes right out. It's ready to go to your friends and family and share this. Again, just make sure you keep it tightly wrapped. And oh boy, dude, let's see how you can get a picture of this. Let's get some of this out of the way. Crash. I'm going to do a slice here from the bottom without the chocolate. You're going to see how smooth. It's like so smooth. It's not like crumbly and gritty. Here, can you show the swirls inside and the swirls here? And you have beautiful halva for like $4 a pound. So make sure you make it. And I want to see pictures posted on our wall. And I want to hear how your experience was. It's so soft. It's like cutting butter. It's somebody said it looks like fudge. Yeah, it's kind of the consistency of fudge. So now let's give it a taste. I'm sorry you're not here to taste it with me. So this bite's for you. Look at all my little layers. Yum. Oh man, it's good. So go out, get yourself some tahini. I know you have salt and sugar and vanilla at home. It's nothing big deal. Oh, it's so good. It's so creamy. It's like peanut buttery creaminess. So enjoy it. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's out of my wheel set, or what do you call it, my skill set to do a live video. So hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to next time. I'll answer your questions on the comments. I can't do two things at once, so thanks for bearing with me, and enjoy your halva. Bye.